Hello everyone! The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip.
For me, a lot of my issues with the Northman is that we do have this central protagonist who we're following for the most part. And, you know, I did expect that Anya Taylor-Joy's character was going to be his, like, right-hand woman. She was going to be invested in there. And she is, but not to the degree that I had hoped for. But also this examination of like, oh, Skarsgård has blinders on, so he thinks that it is his role as the firstborn son to avenge his father and rescue his mother and reclaim their title. And I get it. Like, that's, you know, it's a fealty thing. We've seen it in countless Elizabethan properties and so on. But this title isn't doing anything particularly new or interesting with it. Like, we're not really deconstructing masculinity. It's just like he wants revenge because he feels entitled to it.
So I want to talk about that with you too, because yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time I'm like, okay, well, so this is adapting kind of a story that Hamlet was based on.
Mm-hmm.
So we are taking a very classic story of revenge and just adapting it very straightforwardly with 2022 technology and mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't begrudge the film for that. Like, I mean, again, like, it's like if you've got a perfect story, I mean, perfect in quotes, but like, it's taking a classic story and doing what it can with it. So on that level, I'm like, well, am I gonna bitch about this movie because it's telling a classic story in a classic way, you know?
Yeah, I struggled with that as well, because, like, is it a fault of the film for not doing something particularly new or innovative? And the answer is no, that is a me thing, but also it means that as I sit here as an audience member, when I'm talking about the movie, if that's something where I'm bored frequently while watching it because I feel like, oh, this is a story that's been told a million times and it's not doing anything new to kind of make it feel different or fresh, then I spend a lot of the movie just looking at, oh, that's really good attention to detail on the grass that's growing on the hut, or like the costuming. and that's where I ended up spending a lot of my time, because I could tell you what the plot beats were going to be. And I didn't feel like any of the performances were really jumping out in that regard. So
see, there was not really a narrative surprise. All right, let me tell you this. Sorry, let me ask you this. Whenever Amleth says, oh, my mother doesn't really love him, she's only faking it for the sake of her children, did you not immediately go, well, she masterminded the whole fucking thing?
So I'll admit, I knew that you were going to ask me this question because you clearly clocked it right away.
Oh, away!
So I didn't. And I feel like that's actually why the scene when he ends up going to quote unquote rescue her and she reveals that she is a villain, I got so excited for that scene because it felt like it was finally going to do something unexpected and fresh.
Right. But here's the thing, right? The unexpected and fresh thing would have been making Nicole Kidman's Queen Gudrun the main villain of the piece.
Yeah, like her husband is just like a dumb cuckolded guy, and she's the power monger, which she kind of is, right? She says, like, she orchestrated the whole plan, but at the same time, at the end of the film, it's Claus Bang who's, you know, up there supposedly fighting naked on the lava field.
And look, at the risk of being, that's the movie I wanted to see, this isn't the one I got, I'm mad about it. It is a thing where I'm like, well, if you want to subvert expectations, then do that.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that we wanted it to do some of that subversion, and I don't think Eggers ever planned to.
No, and that's where we're going back to this conversation, right?
Atlas Avenue. A long stretch of road that encompasses everything the city of Kennett Heights has to offer. Neon lights, traffic, crime, the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and the craziest of characters. My office was above it all. My name is James Locke, and I'm a PI.
Hello, Mr. J. How the hell you doing today?
Good, Edith. Nearly every year I have a new case. New people to meet, new clues to discover, and new problems to solve. But I do it the old-fashioned way. No technology. Nothing post-1950. Hell, I don't even listen to podcasts, but you should. Atlas Avenue Beat is a spoof of the film noir genre with goofy characters, tons of wordplay, and non-stop raunchy humor. There's also 3 whole seasons out right now with more on the way. Just search for Atlas Avenue Beat wherever you listen to podcasts or visit us online at bloody.fm.
It was late in the afternoon when the professor and I took our way towards the east, whence I knew Jonathan was coming.
Jonathan Harker has asked me to note this, as he says he is hardly equal to the task, and he wants an exact record kept.
Dear Madam Mina, I have read your husband's so wonderful diary. Strange and terrible as it is true. I will pledge my life on it.
God preserve my sanity, for to this I am reduced. Safety and the assurance of safety are things of the past.
I am in hopes that I shall see more of you at Castle Dracula.
Listen to Regarding Dracula wherever you listen to podcasts, or find us online at bloody.fm.